2, 1. And I believe we're live. Again, YouTube is such a wonderful world in which we never really know exactly what is going on with them. So, yes, I believe we're live. Welcome to the show, everyone. This is the 56th episode of the Community Podcast with LastKnownMeal.
Hello, it's good to be back.
The TheNeonArcade.
What's up, what's up?
And everybody's favorite royalty, the Madqueen.
Greetings, Earthlings.
So yes, it's been an interesting week. We just had I was just perusing some extra news that seemed to pop up here in the last minute, and it seems like there's more leaks and stuff going out for marketing, which I don't think most people actually want at this point. So yeah, that's going to be interesting.
The thing is that the game was supposed to be out this week.
Mm-hmm.
So all the things that are being marketed now are things that need to enter production, which means that they were planned way before the delay of the game, and they are just following with their schedule. Oh, so I guess that this was thought to be released after launch, and then using the hype of the launch to release all these products.
I have an idea in my head that that there's a Michael Scott basically office situation, and he's been coming in for the last like 3 or 4 weeks straight, really hyped, like excited about his business, which is some kind of a marketing thing. And he walks in and he's got his whole team there. There's a Dwight there for sure, and there's a Jim there for sure, and there a couple other people. And he walks in and he's like, all right, guys, we're going to do it. We're going to have a greatest week. We've got the big launch for the big product coming this week. We're going to be putting this info out. And suddenly the phone starts ringing. Like, all their phones start ringing. And they look at it and it's like, what do you mean we put out this info early? Wait, what? Why is everybody mad at us? He's like on the phone with corporate and they're yelling at him constantly. How could you do this? And suddenly, he turns and he goes, "Did anybody hear about a delay? Is this product delayed? What is going on?" And just falls down into anarchy. I feel like this is what's been happening at a couple of these places in the last few days, specifically Amazon. and apparently anything Canadian.
Wait.
Amazon
it's not Amazon, because Amazon is not about the delay of the game. I mean, they should have known the date of the announcement of the Xbox, unrelated to the delay of the game. They published the listing, 5 days before the announcement of the thing that was listed there? Put it these listings.
Yeah. I mean, how many times has this happened in the past? This has happened before too, right?
Millions of times.
With specifically Cyberpunk products. I forget which one was announced or was leaked through Amazon. Was it?
Hey, look at this. Look at this, guys. The German, thank you, Trauma Sentry. The German version of Amazon now has leaked out some headphones. Well, not leaked. They have published some info about these headphones. It seems to be very similar to the one that we were just kind of looking at, but this one is definitely German. It's the samurai kind of generalized concept.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we saw the black one with the samurai.
Yeah.
But how did LastKnownMeal call it? Give me a screwdriver and we'll do the same with my headphones.
Yeah, because the left side is screwdriver. The right side is a sticker. Not the then the microphone. Why is it so red? This outline of red is it's even different color balance. So yeah, I'm not a fan.
Yeah, is this a skin or is this like an actual fully?
But hey, I'm trying to point out that this is in fact a German site that's been leaking. That this isn't a Canadian's fault for once. So that's just better because it's a little frightening because Canadian Michael Scott is fine. In fact, I think he is Canadian. But a German Michael Scott would be terrifying, like in all of the worst possible ways. So, hey, at least it's not just Amazon Canada and all these other Canadian companies. Remember when Walmart Canada spoiled like so many games all at once? So many things.
Oh my! The thing is that I don't know if they thought about it. Mm-hmm. But right now, marketing so many merchandise without a game out. Mm-hmm. And also what happened with the Xbox, that people were expecting more and some people were expecting directly a trailer in spite of being said that this wasn't going to happen. And also trailers are things that are difficult to make, they require a lot of hard work and a lot of time, the same as screenshots, because some people believe that screenshots in marketing are done like we do them inside the games with the photo mode. No, you need an in-game photographer, you need to polish the pose if you have characters, because you need the pose to look good when it's static. The same with everything through a good render, that requires time. It's not just pushing a button. But a very different thing is that the Project Red so far has spoiled us for good. I mean, every time that they wanted to have our attention, there were always goodies involved in the process. And again, asking for a trailer, too much. But they always offer things that, as a company, is not a huge thing for them, like shirts, like how many codes for GOG were given away when the first, well, it was technically the second, the trailer, the 2018 trailer, the reveal. They wanted us to look at frame by frame. Look at that, codes of GOG everywhere. And every time that they did some ARG or something that they wanted our attention, they gave something in exchange, whatever, a giveaway. What happened? Xbox imitated the style of CD Projekt Red when doing an ARG, but they didn't imitate everything. The part of being generous with the community and reward for the attention wasn't there. And I'm sure, I mean, we're not talking about an indie company where giving away a game, every sale of a game counts towards the survival of the company. No, they're Microsoft. They couldn't give away a couple of consoles, and I'm sure it would have been nothing for them. But they are counting on the hype of Cyberpunk, a hype that Xbox didn't create. This hype exists because of the name of the IP of Mike Pondsmith and because of the fame of CD Projekt Red. It's not something that Xbox created. And they were using only that to have the attention of the community. And what happened? That the community was pissed with a lot of reason. I still believe that trying to demand a trailer, which is something that is very hard to do, is a little, I disagree. But something as a reward for the attention, because after all, they are marketing products on us. And if they are marketing products on us, and we are doing part of the marketing by viralizing all this ARG. And there were, what cheap fuckers of Microsoft. There were literally two codes for games on the Xbox shop. 2 codes for games. Like, and not only that, if they keep doing this, without any reward and without the game close, because this is another thing. The game is going to be released in September, and the people is crazy to hear something about the game, not about the products related around the game, about the game. If they keep marketing products like that, we're going to enter in a do you have a phone situation. I'm sure about that.
I mean, their reward was the privilege of seeing an advertisement first. Like, that's a pretty shitty reward.
They don't.
But that's the thing. They were counting on the hype, on people wanted to see something about Cyberpunk. But Xbox doesn't deserve this hype. They didn't create it. They license the brand because they take for granted that the hype comes from there. But no, it's not only the hype. And again, CD Projekt Red spoiled us so far. And every time they want our attention, they give something in exchange for the attention.
No, Microsoft didn't understand one thing, how seriously people take these ARGs. Because I've been present, and I'm sure most of you have been present on the Game Detectives Discord. These guys wouldn't sleep until they solved this. Give something, come on. Like, people take this really seriously. They're just some really insane guys in that group that can do some crazy puzzles and everything, solve it.
Yes, yesterday we had 2 people on from the Game Detectives who were instrumental in solving the puzzles over the last few days. One of the fellows was the one who did the audio, and the other one was Rabbits, who we've had on before, who's done the who did some website digging, we'll say, that helped come up with these answers. So, or answers to some of these questions, and it's really interesting to see how how seriously they take this. Now, they've all more or less agreed that the way that they've done this ARG as far as the process and difficulty was actually really good and was really well done. There was one or two little errors that they had. There was a grammatical error, and then there was somebody accidentally left their name tied to the thing. You don't want to do that. Let's just.
Oh my god, that was so close.
And guys, really, when you see, which is, I mean, and this is part of the problem, right? Because we actually have these characters on Reddit and other places who are making posts that are tied to the actual ARG under pseudonyms that are like real life name types, right?
Mm-hmm.
But and so for a second, everybody was thinking that this might be a new character when it still wasn't like 100% whether or not this was like part of the other ARG. And so unfortunately, there's a lot of people who immediately tried to like look up this person and find info about this person. Try not to do that, guys. Just in general, it's like don't punish somebody who accidentally had their name leaked out by their own marketing team. Don't do that. It sucks. I mean, at the very least, you're gonna suddenly have like 5,000 new friend requests on every social media that you're tied to. Mm-hmm. Or, which, I mean, again, it's not the good stuff. It's all like, hey, give me info. Are you part of the thing? Can you give me free stuff? Hey, give me free stuff. And it's like, it's just some guy who works on a website. It's like I really can't give you guys what you're looking for. So I feel really badly about that. But just in general, the Game Detectives team has said that the puzzle was actually quite well done. The reward was garbage, but the actual process was actually pretty good. So yeah,
I think they mentioned that the leak was hampered the reward as well, right? Because I think Rabbit said that if there wouldn't have been a leak, the reward would have been actually quite good of seeing the console first, but it got leaked. So
but Xbox had a problem even before. If it didn't actually leak on their website, when you go, you can just stop the video. There's a clear outline of the console and the controller, clear outline, and then this is still on their website. It's returned in 1 day. So is it done? Is it not done? It's sending mixed signals. Like, drop it if it's done. It's out. Yeah, because people don't know what's gonna be in 1 day. It's gonna be just a listing for that thing or something new. Like what?
No, probably they're going to show it publicly for the people that didn't participate in the ARG, which are a lot.
Yeah,
but yeah, I guess that they thought that the reward of people seeing the console first was enough, and it wasn't. Maybe if the game was launched, it would be. But in a landscape where people are desperate to see more things about the game, I don't think it's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, I have my own like issues with it being of the current gen console. Now I suspect that if they have this, they probably have the next gen console. They just haven't released that info. I'm gonna like say that that's pretty much for sure. Just because it makes a lot of sense. If they've made this deal with the current one, then at some point they have some agreement to do it again. Because, I mean, I'm going to go on a limb here and make a prediction. I'm sure they will sell out of most of these copies because it's just a collector's thing, right? And I mean, money's a little tight with a lot of people who normally do this, but I think there's a good chance that we're going to see some collectors get at it. I had my brother like texted me and was like, "Hey, you have that old like Halo release version of the Xbox from way back in the day. It was like Halo 2 special limited edition, which I happen to have for some odd reason. And I was like, yeah, I don't know where it is right now. And he's like, yeah, well, I know people who want to buy it from you for money. So so it's like, maybe. Money, you said, right? Interesting.
Depends on the price, though.
Yeah, depends. So, but no, that's, just collect. I mean, good Lord, look at how much money those graphics cards are going for on eBay. Like, they're not exactly like
It's like
top
$5,000.
of the line brand new.
Yeah.
They're like a $400-$500 card normally now, and they're going for $5,000
With the 2080 Ti, that's like more like 1,500, at least Canadian dollars.
So yeah,
I mean, I like Cyberpunk, but I don't like Cyberpunk that much to spend $5,000 on that limited edition. Obviously, people who collect
on a console that has the colors that are not matched.
I would just get a controller. Just get a controller. Console, nah. Controller, yeah.
The bad part of all this is that this kicks back to CD Projekt Red and impacts on their image. Not to mention that that all the attention to the game that this is creating is all the marketing effort is going to waste because we are so far from the release. Couldn't anyone else just put the products on hold until we have the game? I think that I don't know, they would have the push of the game, and they would make a marketing effort together. And I mean, right now it's great if they want to give us things about the game, but the closer we are to the game, the more they could reddit this marketing effort. And now the only thing that they're doing is using the community.
Yeah.
And I mean, this I apologize in advance. I apologize in advance for everything for that I'm going to say that. Now, sorry. We always respected CD Projekt because it was the kind of company that wasn't all the time trying to reach to our pockets. All this, without the game, without the trailer, without anything, is giving people the impression that if they don't understand that those products are not directly done by Project Red, but are licensed, some people just don't understand how license work. This may give the people the impression that maybe they are the kind of company that trying to reach your pocket, because all this is offered before the game or before any information on the game. So this really is kicking on the nuts the good name that the project has.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with wanting to capitalize on a big IP, but you should do that after the IP is established, right? After the game has been established, after we've seen more. When was the last time we got, like, the deep dive was like 6 months old when it was posted, right? So we really don't have a good idea of what the game looks like, other than the two gameplays that are at this point pretty old.
Yeah,
I mean, capitalizing is great, but then again, we go to the subject I said before. So the Project Red has always been very aware that our attention has a price, that we are not only going to be pending on the next thing they want to market on us. And one thing that they did for that is to give away goodies. And that they gave away a lot of things, from shirts and GOG codes, and now with the thing about the PC, an Alienware PC, headphones, a laptop, NVIDIA GPUs. I mean, they seem to be very aware that the attention of gamers to market a product has a price, and they give some things away. But what the disappointment of people after what happened with the Xbox, that was just, okay, your reward is a commercial. It's a little... I understand that they feel like they are reaching to the pockets.
Yeah. True. And it's becoming a tiny little bit oversaturated with products before the game. You know, the figurines and this, then the lore book, it's so many products around the game, and I believe it just should be moved. Okay, when the marketing for the game starts, then you try everything else. But right now, it's just, I don't know, not good. And then connecting the two, I think the main mistake was actually Cyberpunk tweeting out that here. because again, it's putting, as I said, too much of an emphasis on those headphones, way too much than it's supposed to be. And people, when they see like an ear or something like that, as we were with the Beep all those time ago, like there is usually something there. But yeah, if they just retweeted, yeah, should be enough.
At the same time, it shows confidence in the game. They wouldn't have this sheer amount of stuff if it was going to launch with a shitload of bugs or just be a crappy game. So that's the upside.
Well, I mean, the upside is that I can finally say that, hey, by the way, guys, there's this headset coming out. I think I accidentally said that like 4 months ago. I was like, oh, did they announce that? Oh, oops. But yeah, so I mean, I guess it's out officially now, because they did do the ear thingy, and then we're starting to get this. So, I mean, yeah, I'm not. I don't even use, to be honest, I don't even use these headsets, like the full ear cover ones. I don't like those. I need to hear what's going around me in my room, or like if there's a fire outside or somebody's knocking. I usually have the volume turned down like fairly lowish. But yeah, no, I think overall the merchandise behind the game is fine, right? Because I don't I don't it's not tied to content, right? Because that's what I disdain, right? Is when something's tied to content. It's like, oh, in order to get access to this particular item in the game, you're gonna have to do a pre-order from 5 different companies for the same product, like EA, right? Pulling an EA. Those are terrible. Those are garbage. Like, those are just trash as far as respecting the person, the gamer goes, because you're forcing people to buy 5 copies of a game. Like Anthem is it's releasing here, and over here as well. It's also their shooter ones, their whatever one that was, their military or World War II shooters. The last one, you needed a pie chart. You needed an Excel chart to see where all of the different things and DLCs and bonuses were coming from. So I hate that, but I don't mind this kind of stuff because I'm the type of person who doesn't I don't buy stuff unless I need it to replace something existing. And so for me, and this is what I would highly recommend most people do, is when you see something like this pop up, you go, do I need a new pair of headphones? Well, my current ones, the little lining is falling off of them. They're really turning into, really just old, decrepit things. The plastic's chipped off. The microphone doesn't work anymore. Sure. And it's like, ooh, lucky that I get this now. I think it's unhealthy when somebody approaches it like it's like a collection thing, like it's a mini collection game. It's like they're going to buy every variant of this model and they're going to keep it in boxes. I mean, if that's your thing, right, then that's your thing and that's fine. But I don't encourage the vast majority of people to do that, because that's just overkill on.
Especially
so
with equipment peripherals. I mostly buy collector's edition if there's an art book inside or something like that, a statue. That's what I like. But headphones, I already have one. I don't need 10.
There's going to be collectors out there who do that, though.
Oh, of course.
It's just a standard thing in any franchise. You can have those hardcore fans that need everything, right?
Yeah, yeah. You can buy a lot of stuff today. Generally, as you said, people keep in boxes. I know a lot of people who do that because they know, in I don't know how many years that should have a certain price. Just they do it just for the resale. But I personally never understood the concept of actually people not reselling it and just keeping it in a box. When I buy something like that, I want to enjoy it fully. I don't care that I'm going to damage it or anything like that, because I'm not aiming for that resale in 50 years or whatever. I don't know. That's my take on it. We'll see.
Yeah. So, for the most part, I'm not too angry about this stuff. It doesn't really register for me. I do wish that their marketing was handled a little bit better, And it's one of those things that it's the fake stupidity that really gets to me. Like the thing that really grinds my gears, to use a Peter Griffin quote, is that it's just not it just gets a little like overdone so long. It's like people who are like forced to greet you when walking into the store. It's like, yeah, I know you're just doing this because you have to. You have no interest in saying hello to me normally. That's fine. I really don't need you to say that. It's like you know, almost every cashier has been trained to like say hello, how was your day? And for me, it's like you know, autistic brain translates that as you actually want to know about how my day is. Now, that's not exclusively an autistic thing. That's also something from the South. And having lived in the South for just a short period of time, it's like, you know, you go in, you're like, hello, how's your day? They will tell you, oh, well, you know, dog got out last night and did a little 1 and 2 all over my husband's PJs, which were on the floor. And he got up in the morning because somebody was knocking on the door, threw on the PJs, and let me tell you, all hell let loose. And, you know, it's like, I really don't want to know any of this stuff. I was just saying hi. So you have to, like, again, it's kind of a cultural thing, but it's like I don't, like, they're like, hey, look at this item. It's Cyberpunk. You should buy it because it's totally cool. It's so awesome. Buy it right now. It's like, or you could just be like, hey, we made this. Pick it up if you need it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Not, instead of like, you need this right now. Just, hey, if you need a new one,
yeah.
You know, if your Xbox, which you bought like, you know, 6 years ago, just red ringed, and you happen to have some extra cash on you, here's the Cyberpunk version.
Yeah,
like
these products shouldn't be shrouded in like mystery. They should just be posted and shown as they are, not, you know, cryptically hinted at or things like that. It's just gonna confuse people. I think LastKnown was saying that a little bit earlier too. So
I also said, which is currently happening right now, because CDPR is so, you know, had a very positive impact on the gaming industry, and a lot of people see, you know, very positive things about them. Everything negatively that happened, even if it's indirectly tied to them, is going to backfire 3 to 4 times more than it were if, let's say, some other gaming studio did something. You would say like, oh yeah, kind of got used to that. But for CDPR, they have to be extremely careful about some of the, you know, things that go out, how they go out, the emphasis on those things, because if it backfires, it backfires a lot. Yeah. Even if it's not tied to them, like they had nothing to do with it, they just gave the license and that's it, it's still coming to them, because people are still going to go and tweet at Cyberpunk and not at Xbox and complain, you know. Yeah. So.
And the worst part of it is that all this marketing, all products, is also going to worn out the attention of gamers. When we come, until we go to, you know, the big hype of the release. And the thing is that, well, obviously the community, we are also all sold. We want to see the trailer because we want to see the trailer, but we don't need it to decide if buying the game. But what turns a game into a blockbuster is not the community. It's the group of gamers that only play the games that are more hyped at this moment. And the hype, even though the community creates the hype, it generates sales beyond the community. If the community is worn out, and if the attention of the community is worn out in the type of in the moment that all the great hype should be created, this is not going to happen.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know about that. I think in this day and age, I think we've been so over advertised to that I think most people just look at generalized like hype advertisements that they aren't excited for. And they're just kind of like meh. It's like,
but so far when it's related to Cyberpunk, whatever cryptic thing that went out was like, oh,
see,
and
for me,
less and less, and then one day this cryptic thing will be directly related to the game, and people will be worn out.
I see. I don't think so. Here's my life experience for this. So, right now, I am not excited, nor am I interested in anything appearing at McDonald's whatsoever. At no point does like their ads actually like make me like perk up my ears and listen, with the exception to the darn Mulan Szechuan sauce that they have. My ears are always perked for that because I really want to get in on that action. And being a Canadian, unfortunately, it ruins the experience because it's like at least in the States, it's like Mad Max style. It's like more Szechuan sauce has been released at this restaurant, and it's like somebody jumps up onto the top of the truck, with a guitar, starts like playing it as we're driving down the highway, to try and get to get our fair share of the sauce, which is as much as we can possibly get our hands on, right? So there's that in the States. Here it's like no marketing, we'll bring it at some point, and then like 5 years later you're still waiting for it and it never shows up. So I mean, in that sense, it's like there's a lot of advertising that people just ignore, and they've just programmed themselves to ignore it because there's no point in being overly like concerned about this kind of stuff. And that it has been largely impacted and made stronger due to the fact that they have overdone the advertising in every way, shape, and form. They have just completely pushed past the normal like advertising that gets our attention, and now it's become white noise. So I mean, at least that's how I feel about it, and how I've kind of seen it is like this stuff doesn't impact me hardly at all, because it's just a wave of not like I've already kind of gotten over this in the Steam store. There's a whole bunch of knockoff games already, and I've never I click on them for entertainment value, not for actual like, oh my goodness, it's a Cyberpunk thing. It's like, no, entertain me, show me what you got, because I'm going to go out on a limb here and assume it's not that great, and I'm going to laugh about this. And so far, that's all it's really been. Like the taxi game might be interesting, but again, I don't get involved in the advertising because this stuff is kind of like bleh, right? So I don't know. Maybe that's just me though. But for the most part, I look at this kind of stuff and I go, I don't care, because it's been driven into me so much so that I basically don't just shrug it off at this point.
No, both of you are right, actually. Madqueen states a good point for actually repeating the same step, because next time when they actually tweet a cryptic message, people are going to start asking, what peripheral is it now?
People are already asking that on Reddit.
Yes.
People are already asking that.
And on the other side, there's also people like you who just don't pay much attention to that stuff. And I'm like that. Like, I'm not going to get excited too much around this, but when actual game stuff comes, that excitement is going to come back. But people are already typing this. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and I mean, and it does fall under, like I said, everybody's personal experience is theirs. The thing you just have to remember is that not everything, like, just because they happen to have an agreement for some of this stuff, because it is actually, it is actually useful. Like, I mean, I look at, out of all the stuff that's coming, right? Obviously, there's going to be stuff that's going to be unneeded and not necessarily wanted, but then there's a bunch of stuff that's going to, I'd say all of it is helpful to somebody at some point, right?
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, if it's helpful to somebody at some point, then I think honestly we've got to nod our heads and say, yeah, it looks like this is something that's, this is going to be useful, that this is going to be successful, that this is going to have some kind of a desire for it. But that's only per, that's just the one person's. That might be one person out of 50. So that's good as far as that goes, but it's not necessarily CDPR's fault that all of this other stuff has come out in this way. It's kind of like, right? Like we don't need to, like, we don't need to blame them for the over eager marketing people at some of these companies that are jumping
I'm
on
not blaming them, but what I'm saying is that, I mean, obviously the moment you license a brand, you lose control of a lot of things, and that is a reality. And I don't think, and I'm not saying that, no, this is their responsibility. What I'm saying is they are going to pay for it, which is very different.
Yeah. So, I mean, we'll kind of see. But anyways, are we good on that subject, or do we want to move on?
No, I'm good.
I think we're good.
Yeah, but I think we already trashed enough the subject.
Beat the cow. Enough.
So, again, this is not coming from any of my sources. This is not coming from. Please don't worry. The PR team over at CDPR. I'm not putting out anything that I shouldn't. However, there has been a massive increase in the number of smaller sites that are smaller and larger sites in some cases that are now eagerly anticipating a big news drop within the next week or two. We've got articles popping up almost every day with somebody citing some kind of feeling or source or secondary thing where it's stuff is coming down the line. We're gonna get something big soon. We're gonna be neck deep in Cyberpunk stuff to go through in the next 2 months, and it's gonna be starting here right away. And this has been literally everywhere. We've got this coming from a bunch of different places, a bunch of different articles now, where it's just this one just popped up literally a few hours, not even an hour ago. It's new Cyberpunk 2077 information is coming very soon. Is it related to the release date or the new trailer? So it's it's this kind of stuff that's coming from multiple angles, multiple times, and in a lot of cases, as we know, most of this stuff is purely speculative bunk by websites that are just pushing articles for the sake of pushing articles and for getting access to certain information, or clickbait. You know, there's a lot of unscrupulous men that decide to walk around and try and take advantage of this stuff for clicks.
It's so easy to do it. It's so easy to do it with Cyberpunk, because I can just make a video right now and say, well, something might drop new soon. I can just go and say, well, the release is coming, so yeah, we could have something. It's logical,
No, it's at this point in the game, guys, we're I mean, don't tell this to any doctors, but it's kind of birthing children. It's at some point the train pretty much just rides itself. And once things are going, and really most medical staff are just standing there, standing around, not actually doing very much, just making people comfortable, because it's not like if they didn't have the doctor there, the thing wouldn't happen. No, it's happening. It's coming. This is the birth of a new concept, a new game, a new genre, a new a whole new IP for this company. It's coming. So I'm using I managed to fit in, I think that's 3 community references in about 5 minutes. So yay. So yeah, it's really coming up to the time here. We're gonna start seeing more of this stuff sooner and sooner and sooner and sooner. And I can guarantee you that we've got some great stuff on the way as far as content that people are going to really be able to dig into, as far as what CDPR has planned, especially in the next next few weeks here, but this is also like guesswork by a lot of these places too. But at the same time, at some of these bigger sites, they as much as they do have like, they like the clickbait, they do have to back some of this stuff up with at least something, because there are a handful of editors out there who realize that they do have a reputation to maintain, and we're starting to hear more from them who are vetting some of the contacts that they have for some of this other stuff. Again, I kind of wish that level of journalism was more common. Unfortunately, it's not, but it's worth it to say that I'm hearing from people that are, higher up in the industry of giving news that are starting to say, yeah, we're starting to see more stuff and hear more stuff, so something big is coming. And they're getting it from sources that, again, a lot of these people are connected in the industry, and sometimes they don't have the ability to, they can't actually go out of their way to like talk about this stuff directly. Sometimes they have to wait on it. Sometimes they have some kind of an agreement or something like that, or some kind of an NDA that they've been approved on. But just because they're approved on that NDA doesn't mean that they can't give the head nod to somebody else who's got some other source of information that they can independently verify in the one direction, right? So it's like any kind of thing. It's complicated. It's there's a lot there, but for the most part, it looks like we are quickly approaching that time. I said end of April. I think about last month I've been saying like end of April-ish is where you're going to start to see some stuff. Early May is really where we're expecting it to kick on. Of course, barring LARPing of current problems right now. Can't say the P word anymore now. So yeah, okay. So it's coming, and that game where you make the I was using it as an out, but they've caught on now, so we can't say that the it's a very popular like mobile game. It's called P Word Inc.
Yeah. Okay.
Can't say that word anymore. That is can't say that word anymore.
Wait, I thought they changed the policies about that.
Yeah, they changed it and they make it even more aggressive.
Oh, they made it more aggressive. They
laxed it for some people, for people who have the ability to prove that they have something, knowledge or information that is that is special in some way, shape, or form.
Well, obviously, if you're a doctor and you can interest add to the subject, you're allowed to do so. I mean, in cases where you have something to add to the matter, to add that can be of interest of people watching, and yeah, they do it to avoid people provoking mass panic for clickbait. I mean, I find it totally normal, to be honest.
Same with No Alive Island. Can't say the original name anymore on YouTube. I tried. Yeah. No, but yeah, honestly, guys, if you want leaks, just go to Amazon. It's my main source of leaks now. I get everything from them.
Yeah, someone said, Fenry, what industry insider intel do you guys have? Amazon.
Yeah, we are backed by entire corporation. Don't worry.
you have no idea how easy it is to get information from marketing people, like, because they talk all the time, and I've got to say it's one of the things that they don't have, like, there's not as many people in marketing that are under NDAs as other companies think there are. I'm not giving out any source information. I'm just saying, generally speaking, there's a lot of marketing people that get access to pitch level stuff that are not put under an NDA. Then there's some companies that really need to fix that because if you're wondering where you're getting some leaked info from, that's a real common spot. The other most common spot is when the owner or the CEO talks a lot in certain circles and is too stupid to realize that people are using their info, and then they wonder where the info leak is coming from. Guess what? You're the info leak. So there's a lot of that going on too. And I'm just talking generalities. I'm not talking about anybody specific. Unless you're referring to that one thing, then I'm winking at you right now. But yeah, it's really like it's getting there, and I think we're starting to really see that come to a head now, because more and more people are in mass agreement, and these are all people who, you know, their livelihoods are rather dependent on this kind of stuff. So
yeah, well, I hope, like, I don't know, now it's so everything is filled with leaks to the point where it can ultimately ruin a good surprise or a good ARG. And it's been happening for so long with Amazon and Walmart. Don't they have some things in place, like legal? For God's sakes, just I would just call them up and don't do it. Come on, guys.
Yeah, like, why are the biggest corporations the most negligent at?
Well, I mean,
like,
so here's another thing that's really interesting. The amount of times that somebody has left some very secure, very important information on, say, like a laptop or in a briefcase, or
a USB drive,
literally a USB drive. That's
Andy
always
Pitchford.
A popular one. You know, there's a whole bunch of other like trade secrets where people have like put this info out, right? And it's literally fallen out of their pocket in some cases, and people find it and they go, wow, wow. But this is actually so common that there's like entire procedures that most companies are adept at dealing with. Like having like, this is a really common one. Somebody leaves a laptop in their car gets broken into, laptop gets stolen, laptop has a whole bunch of things on it that shouldn't be there. Now, a lot of them have like trackers and GPS now, but there's actual like people that you can call and be like, hey, we lost this really like vital information. And sometimes this is even tied to like people's like insurance team, like their insurance investigators. Shout out to my buddy Johnny Dollar, who's an insurance investigator, amazing fellow, has a show or something. But yeah, they will call these people up and then they will dispatch people to solve the problem. Now, that sounds really shady and like super mega corpy and awesome. It's not nearly that interesting. Usually it's like just scouring the internet for people posting about either having found some particular information or, you know, like secondhand stores or like, you know, turnaround stores that, what are those things called? Where you like take stuff and sell stuff that you like secondhand stores, whatever.
Yeah.
Now it's mostly done on eBay, so it's not actually like physical locations anymore. But they'll actually like track down the stuff and they'll get it back. Like they'll get it back if they want to. Like if they're motivated enough and if the object has worth, as in it wasn't just immediately thrown into a dumpster while somebody took the $20 out of the pocket. Like that's the other thing that's shocking to me. I can't, like, it's so shocking to me. Like this is if you ever watch a documentary on like people who like pickpockets, like pickpockets will steal somebody's wallet, take, you know, sometimes there's photos in there, irreplaceable photos, and pieces of information that is like just absolutely like, you know, is vital to this person's life, right? They'll pickpocket them, take the wallet, take the $20 in cash, and then just dump the rest of the wallet down a dirt drain somewhere. It's like you couldn't even be bothered to just walk past like a mailbox and just drop it in the mailbox, because here's a hint, like here's a shocker. If you drop either, like if you find somebody's like a driver's license or in most countries, no, not all countries, but in most countries, you find a person's wallet or driver's license or whatever, all you do is you just drop it in the mailbox. There's actually like, I know that the U.S. mail system and the Canadian mail system and the British mailing system and a couple other like, you know, countries, where they are actually equipped to deal with this. They actually, like, there's an actual, like, process that we found it, we got a wallet in one of the mailboxes, so we're going to send that over to this, we're going to double check the stuff. Like, there's a whole step-by-step process in which they get that wallet back to the person. Like, driver's licenses, that's the thing too, is like, you find somebody's driver's license that fell out of the pocket on the side of the road, you don't need to take it down to anybody, you just pop it in the mail, and the mailman will look at it, forward it over to the DMV. The DMV will then notify the person that, hey, your driver's license was found. It's like, it's legitimately that easy. And
I mean, they don't care, they're pickpockets. Like,
yeah, but I mean, it's like you make your living off of, like, stealing from other people, and you don't have the baseline, like, composite ability to just, like, hand it over. So this is when, sorry, I got a little off track on this, but this is what happens when sometimes laptops are stolen. They're stolen so that the person can sell the battery, right? Or something else, something that's like not as, like, a laptop has a lot of, like, markers and identifiers on it, and those things are registered. Sometimes they'll be, like, especially corporate ones, they'll be bricked as soon as they're reported as stolen. So what does the person take? Takes the battery pack, chucks the rest in a dumpster. And it's like, wow, what a way. You just took a $5,000 thing that had tens of thousands of dollars. Like, remember when Nosh had his, like, laptop stolen at a party? And that thing potentially had millions of dollars worth of, like, valuable trade secret things on it. And as far as we can tell, I don't know the ins and outs of that story, but from what I heard originally, and the fact that nothing ever really got leaked that we know of, we can assume that they didn't do anything with that information. They just stole it and probably used the battery, or tried to hawk it as a whatever. And yeah, it's amazing to me how this kind of stuff is. But yeah, that's how, if you're curious on the side of, like, data recovery for these big companies, it's like they have a plan. And CDPR, I'm sure more than one piece of information. In fact, remember when they had a bunch of information being, like, that was stolen from them and was being held for ransom. And I've always stated quite clearly that none of the information that we've ever reported on has ever been from that source. Just to really make that clear, because that's a really bad thing. It's a real shitty thing, because they took that info and then they're like, hey, give us money or we're gonna ruin your launch party. Essentially, that was the threat. It's like, oh crap, you guys are garbage.
Remember that happened some time ago with assets of Cyberpunk.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. That when it was stolen from them.
Oh, no, I was talking about the stolen from you.
No. The stuff that was actually stolen from CDPR directly. It's like, and we never really heard very much on that after the fact. Like, we didn't ever find out if it was, like, if it had been, like, if they breached their security and downloaded it, or whether it was, like, somebody, like, walked in and stole something.
Well, after The Witcher 3, there were a good amount of disgruntled former employees. So
yeah, or it was, if it was an employee thing, or like because the other thing that can sometimes happen is
they,
like,
probably pulled a Snowden. Yeah,
like, it's either a Snowden or it's here's another common one. It's like, you're working with a marketing company, and the marketing company is like, your smaller company, you're working with a marketing company. They've been kind of going down, and you're looking to launch a new product or something like that, but they haven't been, on the upward trend, right? So they're actually in a worse position now when you originally hired them for your original project, which was like 5 years prior. And you're looking at them and going, they really can't offer us help. Not on this. We're going to have to move to a different marketing company, a much bigger one. They'll look at you, say, yo, you're going to regret this, buddy. And they get all huffy because, well, they failed to really, like, do something. And so they're like, sorry, and you're out of the running now. And so then the piece of information like that, then they'll drop certain information as a retaliatory thing, not as a money making thing, but just as a like trying to screw you over kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
good way to run your company into the ground.
Yeah, great way to run your company.
Because they know they can easily know where that info came from. I mean, it's tied to a specific thing. You know what that company was dealing with.
Yep.
So, my God, ransomware is a big thing in our dark future.
It really is, and it's going to get worse, and it gets more elaborate too. I was telling who was I telling? I don't remember who I was telling. So there are two ways to walk into a place to get information that is really easy. It is exceptionally easy to walk into a place if you have a hard hat, a big binder, briefcase, or like, just a chart thing, and a big bag of tools or something. You walk into most places, you'd be like, hey, I'm here to see the furnace. Mm-hmm. It's like, people are like, okay, through that door. Let me get you the keys. I mean, it's shocking to me how simple it is to just like walk in somewhere. Especially in like big corporate offices. The other thing that's really easy to do is, now this one requires that you have the assets for it, but if you are of the female equation and you happen to have some really stunning clothes on, you can basically walk into anywhere just by saying the line, "The boss wants to see me." So, another scenario where it's like you can get into so many places if you just know the right thing to say, which is really generic. So
yeah, you can do that for most things, even skipping lines sometimes. Like, the lady from the third goddamn store told me to come to you. I need to finish this paper. The blonde one. And they're like, yeah, sure. No, it's hopefully that's not gonna happen again. But now, even when you release an online game, there's gonna be a bunch of kids trying to DDoS it or just bring the servers down. And I hope CDPR is ready for when, I don't know, like, obviously we don't know how Cyberpunk multiplayer is going to function, but if there is access to server, hopefully it is secure it. Because I'm certain someone's gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna try to bring it down on the release date. Mm-hmm. Because that happens now all the time.
And why people do this, like, is completely beyond me. Like, but think of it, like, I think about it like this. It's like you've seen Independence Day, right? And how they like bring down the aliens. Mm-hmm. Shocker for like a 25-year-old movie. So I'm going to spoil the ending here. So they fly the ship up into the mothership and they upload a virus, right? And there's a bunch of people like, why would that even work? And there's lots of stuff. No. I think that would honestly work because as a species, we are so strange. We are so weird. There's an entire subsection of our species that is bound and determined to screw over the other mass group of our species, and we actively work on finding ways to counter this constantly. Viruses and the concept of a computer virus might be completely foreign to a more united species. Like if there's a species out there that's more like, their function as like a hive type mentality. It's like the concept of somebody actively working to create a virus to screw over everybody else. This is a concept that is would be completely like not even in their scope, right? It's like, what if we find a species that doesn't see anything through like, light reflection, but they see objects based off of like radio wave interaction. Mm-hmm. It's like what happens, like their concepts of like, art and even like simple locking mechanisms might be completely different, right? They might look at our locks and be like,
if this is your opinion on Independence Day, then I question you. What the fuck are the aliens doing using Windows?
Well, no, this was another common complaint. They didn't. they weren't using Windows. They were using their own operating system, which was on the ship that they had captured, and they had managed to like research for years. Apparently that was the argument, even though they never got it up and running to actually look at the live code. That was the excuse, and I think they just kind of bungled it a little bit, but that's the generalized concept, is that they had the operating system and they managed to like create a basic like interpretation technology that allowed them to access their technology as far as that goes. So that's that, which I was going to mention originally, but I was like, nah, but whatever.
I think it's funnier the explanation that the aliens used Windows.
True. It's like, oh yeah, we picked up Windows, what was it? Windows
Vista.
Vista.
No, not, yeah.
I have the original discs of Vista, man. All 7 of them, or I don't know how many of them. It's crazy.
Really, I have a disc of the Windows 10 that I'm using, and I needed to when you wipe out and you install Windows again. What's the name of it in English?
When you
Reinstall?
Clean.
Call
wipe?
it reinstall? Come on. You don't have a specific word for that? Well, I had to reinstall. And the thing is that my PC doesn't have a reader for discs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And in spite of that, they gave me a disc for Windows. Like, hello, Mr. Bill Gates.
I mean, yeah.
They usually put them on like USB thumb drives these days. Not
Oh,
discs anymore.
I do have a drive on my computer. I have never opened this thing. I've had this computer for about 5.5 years now, and Madqueen was saying that. I'm like, do I even have a drive on my I'm pretty sure I do. And I'm like, popped over here. Yeah, sure enough, here it is. Wow, cool. So yeah, that's a thing.
Yes, the physical versus digital joke. I still remember one. Gabe Newell sitting on a chair, and the CD fell down, and he's like, well, I'm creating Steam. Not picking that up.
That's a funny meme. I know that one.
So old though.
Man, that dude's gonna like, trust me, I think it's between him and Elon Musk on who creates the first like neural net mapping, like deep dive immersion tech. And seriously, we need more people on this. Yeah. We need full integration at some point. So yeah.
Didn't one of the Assassin's Creed had like one of the companies in one of their games was actually a video game company that had Animus like in a back room where you could just log in and go to the past. Valve.
I think so. I don't know.
Yeah, it was one of the newer Assassin's Creed games. They were like that.
One of the newer ones, because I thought they killed off that story.
No, the new ones before they killed it off. I think the latest Assassin's Creed game before they killed off the future past kind of a thing.
Because that was always jarring to me.
Abstergo Entertainment, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that was super jarring to me when I first sat down to play Assassin's Creed on my friend's console, and I was like, everybody's been talking like nonstop about this game. I want to see what this is all about. Sat down, booted it up. I'm like, can't wait to get into ancient or not ancient, but the storyline where it was obviously not. Yeah. And it's like, welcome to the future, and I'm like, what the hell is this? It was so shocking that it came off as this like kind of like surprise. You're not actually playing an assassin from the whatever century it was in. You're actually playing a guy who's alive in today's time. And I'm like, what?
That was actually a great
it was so jarring that I put the controller down, I walked away, and then like 20 minutes later left and didn't pick it up again. Actually, still haven't actually played like a full like Assassin's Creed game, because it was just one of those things where it's like watching Dusk Till Dawn the first time. It's like the first like 30 minutes of the movie is like, it's like, wow, this is a really interesting cop drama. Like, wow, they're chasing these serial killers, and like, wow, this is super amazing. Like I wonder what's gonna happen with this with this cop guy. And then what the heck? What WTF just happened? Why is there suddenly vampires? What in the and you're just stunned, because like the first time I saw that movie was on like cable, and I had a family member over, and we were both interested in the cop drama side of things, and then we both like got up, grabbed a water because it was a commercial break or something, sat down, and then the next thing we know, we're watching, and we were convinced for like a good 20 minutes that we had accidentally changed the channel to another channel that had a movie featuring all of the same characters that we had just seen in the previous movie, and we were literally trying to figure out what in the world was going on. So yeah, that happens.
I mean, yeah. I kind of expected a twist, not that big of one, but you see the director and you're like, yeah, something's gonna happen. Yeah. That was a shock for a lot of people. Yeah, I know. Assassin's Creed, I enjoyed the going back and forth because of the connections with the story and the character, but it just became generic after some time. It's abandoned, as we can see.
Well, I think they could have like incorporated like more info into it, and for one, I think I've actually talked about this a couple times on the podcast. I actually believe that there is some argument for some level of genetic memory being passed down between parents and children. Like it seems to me that this is where a lot of these like I mean, how many mammals, let alone like insects, but like how many mammals just can like, born, immediately know what to do, like that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
No, and then the whole thing with like insects is like they know how to fly when they've never flown before. It's not like a bird where it's like they get shoved out of the nest literally, and they open their wings on instinct. No, for a bee, there's no learning time. Bee grows up, gets wings, flies out, starts looking for honey, communicates where, or it's not honey, looks for pollen, and is able to communicate that between its sisters. It's like, what? How? That doesn't make any sense. Like there's no education there. There's no like information being passed on. It's all like just
biological programming.
It's
crazy.
Biological programming. So I don't know. I like that system in Assassin's Creed, and I think that would be interesting to like check on.
Apply it to tech. Yeah.
But sorry, we're going really deep into the rabbit hole today because there's still not, despite the fact that there's a ton of like news on the whole marketing side of things, there's no actual new news about Cyberpunk.
Honestly, I'm just hoping it's another topic though. I am honestly, because I've been thinking about it, I hope that the sales are not going to be impacted with the upcoming possible economic, issues.
Yeah.
With a lot of these peripherals and limited editions, it costs money.
Well, I think for pre-sales, I think most of that's already been baked in.
Yeah.
And most people have already like set that up. There may be a significant amount of people who are not able to get it on day one, but who will instead get it in the holiday season. And so we're going to see, I think we'll see a bigger spike of sales in and around the holiday season, because hopefully by then things will have recovered significantly, or at least been on the road to recovery, or people, save up and they use that to like, they're using that money to like do something that they know that somebody else is going to really appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I mean, Witcher 3 has been selling copies for many, many years. So as long as they have that like sustained, sustained sales like that, I think it'll end up leveling out regardless if September it's kind of still in a downtime.
It's really hard to achieve that, actually, to have continuous sales over the years for an old game.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy how difficult that is, because that means the hype needs to be, reignited again and again and again. And I mean, they had a lot of things work in their favor, obviously, but it was good foundation, and then everything else that goes around. Sometimes it backfires, like for example this. But for example, Netflix The Witcher, that was a jackpot for sales. Oh, man.
Oh yeah.
I think multiplayer will feed into that single player sales push as well too, because if that thing is as big as they're saying it is, it's gonna be massive.
I just want a podcast from inside the game, honestly. even some developer developer questions answers sessions are done actually from the game. I think the game Scum does it. I don't know. It's really cool.
Yeah, I think there was a podcast. Did you send that in the Discord? I remember seeing.
Yes. It's really cool. And also
remind me to, after the podcast is done, explain the idea that I had for a video series with you guys. Which hopefully you'll love as much as I do, and then we'll talk about it on the live podcast in about 4 months. So yeah, maybe fingers crossed. But yeah, no. Other than that, there was a few more screenshots of some random stuff that came out this week, I think. In the last couple of days. Back on the 14th, there was some apparently some interesting posters that were put out. I don't know if any of them were new or whether they're just some that I didn't really recognize immediately. Does anybody know anything about that? Apparently it was 17 of them.
17 posters?
Sorry, not 17 posters. No, sorry. That was...
I know they released their gangs.
There were a few. There was the Tiger Claws poster.
Yeah, those are old, I think.
The really crazy one with the crazy colors and the...
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Because I don't think I've seen these before. I definitely haven't seen the Maelstrom poster.
I think that one's even older. But yeah, most people haven't seen those ones just because it's exclusive to the store, the CDPR store. I don't think they've really shown that on their socials or anything like that.
I must have missed this on the store section. I thought I had been through it with a fine-tooth comb, but clearly I have not been. They're
updating it pretty frequently, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when did these things show up in the store? Because this is the one thing that I was really kind of confused about, because I don't remember seeing some of these posters.
And the Maelstrom one has been there for maybe a month and a half, maybe more. And then the
Valentino's one, I had seen the Valentino's one quite a while ago. The Maelstrom one, I guess I'd either never registered with me or I just didn't really focus on it. But that was really this one there's a really lot of detail here. Yeah, they're very very cool.
Zai, please share this meme that LastKnownMeal put, please.
I'm holding my laughter the entire time.
The face of Martin Ivinsk is just fantastic.
Don't do it, man. Don't do it. Looks like he's gonna do it.
Did you do this meme yourself, LastKnownMeal, or you found it?
No. I found it. I'm gonna post the link on the chat.
Post the link. I'm worried about trying to feed an image into my thing, because I've been having issues with that on OBS. But this is his face.
I'm going to pick After Effects and do a video with September 17th saying okay like in the trailer. Okay. I'm good.
Oh no. He's trending. There is another one which I'm just gonna post one more and I'm done with this. So the face is golden.
We should have an entire episode where we just go over Cyberpunk 2077 memes.
That's that was going to be next month's thing, but okay, all right. Thanks for ruining it.
Damn it! No one told me about that one.
That's stage 2, Marcin Ivinski. Oh my god.
The second one.
Yes.
There's going to be no way to unsee this image.
Mm-hmm.
Because the cat is making the exact same face.
Yeah. These are the greatest memes.
Yeah, sometimes Reddit has its mood.
Oh yeah.
But see what I was saying? That too much merch without the game, and this is what happens.
Yeah. Yeah, these are the latest actually posts on the subreddit, so it's having an impact. At least the memes are strong.
Yeah.
But this one is fantastic. If avatars weren't that small, I would use this as an avatar. Because of the cat, mostly.
Somebody put Keanu next to Marcin. Oh yeah. Oh my god. Adult Swim.
Well,
So
this image of Keanu Reeves that's been so photoshopped everywhere, where he's sitting somewhere looking so tired. That fake forgers did.
Oh yeah.
This image of everything that the collector's edition contains, and on top of it, Keanu Reeves sitting like, oh shit.
Yeah, I expect a lot of Keanu Reeves memes to return when the games come out. When the
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's so much of him out there that's already been out there that they can capitalize on and make and get it to function better and better and better. It's it's really, really good. It's a really solid concept. So
yeah. Honestly, I know memes should be actually implemented in marketing strategies. Good memes, they carry so much with them, because you're a breathtaking meme. Come on. That increased the popularity.
Yeah, but they really don't need to do that. The community already does the memes.
Yeah.
I mean, they have to be implemented in the marketing strategy when your community is not creating them, and then you can't use it because most memes are based on things that you don't own.
Can you imagine if he was wearing a Cyberpunk 2077 branded shirt in those memes? Because a lot of people who are making those memes don't actually know where that's coming from. They just see the samurai shirt, right? Probably would have generated a little bit more clicks, interest.
Well, I don't know. I believe that from here to the release, the logo of samurai is going to be in so many places that it's going to be quite recognizable, as a pop culture symbol in general.
Yeah, I think
I can see that.
I think I already saw someone in my town wearing a samurai shirt. Yeah, so it's already there. I've seen people with samurai shirts. I've seen two guys come out from this fast food restaurant with the School of the Wolf necklaces, out with medallions. I'm like, wow, it's here.
Sorry, every time I see the cat, I'm going to close the window. Oh.
Well, at least we filled the end of the podcast with some positive news. With some
Wait, I would like to answer Jagos. Street Samurai is actually Shadowrun. So first, Shadow 1 was released later. First, Cyberpunk was released, and later, Shadowrun was released. And the Band of Samurai already existed in the first edition of Cyberpunk in 2013. So it's amusing for me when people that was from Shadowrun. Yes, but it was released later, after Cyberpunk. Madqueen is losing it. It's so good. The meme is so good.
Let's see. Cut of the deep dive.
That's not a new leak though. It's a different cut of the deep dive. What are they talking about? I missed that. What leak?
I have no idea.
Don't bamboozle us, please. Just
we're talking about memes. Memes are not leaks or memes. I don't know. Maybe I missed the part of the
26
conversation.
minutes, but it's in Italian. Is that the deep dive? Deep dive? I know there were some floating.
No, there was somebody who they're talking about that somebody took a whole video of the Italian presser and recorded the entire thing on like their cell phone and then posted it.
Oh,
places.
But yeah, that was long ago.
Yeah, that was ages ago. I said it was gonna happen, but yeah, I'm surprised it didn't happen on any of the English ones. But you know, I guess yeah. I guess that's a good thing. I mean, it is a good thing.
So. I'm sure there was people who took videos, they just didn't post it.
Yeah, but
no, there was for sure a lot of people who did that.
Who wants to see that? I mean, one thing is that you record it and then at home you remember it using the recording, but who wants to see it for the first time with this quality? It's like, when the leak came out, a lot of people sent me the link and I was like, I don't want to watch it. It's going to be a creepy quality now.
Yeah, I mean, what's the point anyway? We wouldn't talk about those things because we don't want to put out stuff that has been intentionally leaked when it's not supposed to, so I don't benefit from it. Screwed. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm against recording. People who get a chance to see it exclusively, god damn it, just sit down and watch, because if a lot of people do that and if those leaks become a common thing, CDPR is just gonna go and say, well, we're gonna change our strategy. That's not gonna happen anymore. We're not gonna do these things now, and it can ruin sometimes the marketing strategy. The one that works because it gets leaks, now it's not gonna happen. Like, they're probably, if this thing continues to happen, maybe they don't do tours around the world anymore and they show the footage there because they know there's a potential it's going to be leaked. Hopefully not, though.
Now there is no chance. There is no E3, so
yeah. I almost saw it, though. Almost. I was supposed to be in Vienna, I think, 3 days. When it was supposed to be a screening, I was fucking missed it. God damn it. So close.
Would you guys have gone to E3 if it was still going on this year?
Gamescom, yeah. E3 now.
Gamescom?
Yeah.
I believe the same. Probably Gamescom, but not E3. As far as I know, they weren't planning a super.
No, yeah, you're right.
A super big, event at E3.
Yeah. LA is also too expensive for Bosnians. I mean, just getting the visas.
LA is shit. Germany's better.
I've been in Germany. I don't know about LA.
LA's shit.
No, it's really. I mean, I thought when I got it was my first time in LA. In LA, I've been on the other coast of the States, and it was my first time in LA, and I had the head filled with ideas come from the movies. And it was like, oh my god! First, it stinks.
Hollywood Boulevard is like a third world country. It's crazy to see in
person. It's there are sections of
I believe that
California.
It's only cleaned for the Oscars.
What? Oh my god!
Oh yeah, no, it's no. Well, there's actual poop maps that track like poop locations live because it's become such a huge problem. And it's like, it's seriously messed up. So, we should probably not talk about this too much before it gets,
But this year we won't have Gamescom for the next Gamescom. We need to do something there.
Yeah.
So we send the Americans to E3, and you and I go to Gamescom.
Yeah, sadly this year. Nothing. It was honestly, I'm so sad because this year I was like, I'm gonna go to Gamescom. It's gonna be after the delay. I'm like, okay, we're gonna see something about the game. We're gonna go to Gamescom. It's gonna be fun, and then this.
CDPR probably would have had their own event. That would have been
But Gamescom will have their digital presentations still. Keep that in mind, because Germany banned it until the September. So they said they have something in mind for the opening night.
I heard a rumor that the Xbox conference, the Microsoft conference, was going to be in May. Has anyone heard something similar?
Yeah.
The which one?
The Xbox one that was... they're doing their own.
don't think I know that they're doing their own thing, but I think May is too early. I would expect June, but I could be wrong. I mean, school. That's the other thing that's kind of thrown everything into chaos is that the school year is officially over in most countries now. So the whole summer holiday break thing, it's on a completely different schedule now. So weird.
Idle Dragon
really
says
weird.
they're supposed to be having 2. One is due in early May. Is that confirmed or is that just rumors?
I mean, next year. Maybe next year. If this all clears out, it's Gamescom time.
Oh, it's that like Games Pass conference thing that was just really... that nobody cares about, really? Maybe it's that. I don't know.
I'm not as annoyed with their Game Pass thing because at least it's been good quality. Like you get a lot of stuff for very little, and it's not something that I buy or do at all. It's really not. But I do know people who are on like budget gaming who that is something that really, really helps them. So yeah. Not too bad in some cases. So yeah.
Everything is going in the big washing machine, as I like to call it. Everything is gonna be changed in the world. How we view stuff, how we go to work, I guess, how we present stuff. Man, it's gonna be a challenge for everything, but we'll see.
Think so
who
it's going to be interesting.
Is a winner, honestly.
Oh, we are, God, we have a lot of subjects to talk about today.
Yeah, it's one of those times. Do hop on our Discords, all of them. I know that not always super fun, but we do get a chance to talk about stuff that we don't always get a chance to talk about here, or get into stuff that we, I love having conversations about genetic memory and AIs and all kinds of stuff like that. So, I mean, you find me on a Discord, you can @ me on a Discord, and I will typically respond if you're in one of the one of our servers. So that is totally a thing you can do. You can even @ me at on like Madqueen or Neon server, and I will still respond. LastKnown's too. So.
Indeed.
Yeah, same.
Might take a while, but I will typically respond. You have to make the post a little obvious, but yeah, that is something that I will do. All right, is there any other news? We've kind of gone on a full circle of craziness again. Apologies.
That's pretty much it for the news, actually. I don't think we have. I think we passed over everything relevant.
They're maybe going to continue their gangs and corporations tweets.
Yep,
we should that's going to keep going.
Yeah, we should see a little bit more of that, and then we're going to start, at some point, they're going to start diving into the lore. I expect that we will see some more info about Johnny at some point, that he is a major character that's going to be kind of a central figure to drawing people into this IP and getting them to care about the past. So don't be shocked if one of the big info packets that we get between now and release actually like focuses on who is Johnny Silverhand and what's his life and why is he a digital ghost. A lot of people don't know those basic kind of questions, and that is something that I feel that they might want to drop as a trailer or as a piece of information so that other people can get invested into the world and the story. So that is an easy guess on my part. So, yeah.
Heck, I want to find out how he got stuck in that ship.
Well, I guess it was Al Cunningham is the only...
yeah.
Because after his death, I mean, the nuke exploded, so it's not like anybody could recover his body.
Yeah, yeah.
Huh. And as I've said numerous times before, as every girl knows, you want to back up your boyfriend's digital mind just in case. I mean, you know,
well,
maybe
when Al Cunningham was creating the show, The Soul Killer, her original idea was to create backup memories of dying people. So maybe, I don't know, she was practicing with Johnny.
Yeah. Or maybe she was a crazy girlfriend who was all like, should I tell him that I think it's time for us to have a baby or not? Because if, you know, how it is with some people, you mention that and then they just kind of like disappear and vanish. And so maybe she just keeps a backup copy in case, you know, whenever she feels that the relationship is getting a little stale and she's trying to like, you know, bump in something, you know, new and goes too far, she goes, oh, I got to hit the reset switch again.
But yeah, I guess it was her, because the only other option had a copy of The Soul Killer was Ray Schwartzman, and he died before Johnny Silverhand did.
And it would be kind of like out of place and weird. No, I think it'll be really interesting to see what Alex
was out of place and weird in general. So I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, just in general, I think it's going to be very interesting to see where exactly the story with her ends up going, because this is a character that, you know, I really hope they don't just like kill off all of these characters right early on in the story. And they're like, hey, it's a new thing. It's like, you know, please don't Star Wars it. I would love to see really in-depth, really deep digging into this whole concept. I really, really, really want to see where they go with a bunch of this stuff. It's just really interesting to me to see this and to have these characters as like permanent fixtures in the whole like universe. Like, you know, you can make essentially like turn them into Doctor Who's. Like you can do that once you have digital ghosts. Like it's easy to do that, and then that way, you know, you've got this iteration of this character that's always there, and I personally find that really interesting. That's actually where I wanted them to take the whole Picard route, but
we in 2077 we have an insane amount. Al Cunningham, we have Johnny Silverhand, we have Jenny Arasaka, and we have Kei Arasaka. All of them are engrams. I mean, is someone alive there? Morgan Blackhand. Maybe. Morgan Blackhand and Michiko, because she's the youngest, but that's it. I mean, the story of Cyberpunk was like, okay, let's do engrams left and
Tandem, which game is that? Or is that actually the game? Because I've never actually heard of XYZ. Is that an actual game? I want to Google it, but I don't want to type.
You can mute your microphone.
He's the host, though. Oh shit!
Yeah,
we lost the host.
No, if I do that, I end up
too lazy to type. I was like, huh?
Oh no, that's no. So this is
that's why we need that neural interface. Just through our mind. There, got the info.
Now that we're talking about Johnny Silverhand being a ghost, there is a small insignificant detail that I'm always very annoying with. That it seems that I'm the only person surprised with that. If Johnny Silverhand is a ghost that lives in a chip on V's neck, why the fuck does he need guns? Like the toys they're making about him. If we are not going to see him, because when he was alive, you know, from 2013 to 2023.
It's the same reason why real world ghosts are seen with their clothes and other objects from their time. Objects that are important to them are things that they can summon because it's an aspect of themselves. He also smokes. There's Polly's. Polly's gets it. He smokes. He looks cool. He wears sunglasses. Well, he doesn't need to wear sunglasses
but
because,
that's
you know.
Self-image. Who the fuck has a self-image with guns?
You clearly have not been to the southern states, my dear.
Oh.
Or just America in general. I mean, I don't know how you didn't pick this up on the last couple of times to the country, but yeah, no, that's like, I mean, that's like an inherent part of you. I mean, my personal protective weapon is something that is very important to me. Now, I don't have I don't film or take pictures of myself with it most likely because it's a military grade satellite in orbit with, full nuclear strike capabilities. But, that's just me. And that's an important aspect to, world. I mean, my own personal character. And I suppose that if I was to turn into a digital ghost and hadn't nuked the world in retaliation, that I could see it becoming an important part of me. So, I don't know. It's food for thought.
Please let me have the fantasy that we're going to see the attack to the Arasaka Towers.
I know that's what you want to see. And I'm not necessarily opposed to it, but it's also maybe, I don't know. Maybe it might be too much. I don't know. We'll see. It'll be really weird if we end up having essentially like 2 or 3 different like protagonists to play through. That would be very similar to The Witcher 3,
well, I mean, even if it's not playing it, because I understand that playing it would require a new sandbox, and this is very complicated. But the flashback, I would be okay only with a flashback. They have to explain how he died.
Hopefully.
He had to explain all the times that he had a thing with Arasaka, to explain how much he hates Arasaka.
Or maybe they'll just keep pointing back to the original content. I don't know. We will see how this goes. It's one of the great mysteries here. I really, 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 really want to see where this goes, though.
One thing actually kind of feels strange to me when in that, I think it was Deep Dive video, when the narrator said, like, obviously Johnny Silverhand has his own things that he wants to achieve. And I'm like, so if he's not happy, it's like, what you gonna do about it, buddy? You're a ghost.
Maybe so that's his things, finding the way to do something about it.
Yes, that's gonna be interesting to see how he's going to screw me over if I screw him over, because he's a ghost.
One of the best ghost story character archetypes was probably Spike in Angel. God, that was amazing. Like, just his whole, like, that whole overall story was just brilliant. Loved it. It was great. But yeah, that'll be really interesting.
Oh well, I think we drained every topic we could.
I think we have.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody got anything that they want to shout out before we end it?
Just looking forward to more tweets by CDPR around corporations and gangs. That's it.
We have got on Friday, I believe. I'll be doing a big Let's Play of Trials of Mana. So tune in for that. This is an old game from 1995 that has been remastered very well. Actually, it really has been remastered quite well as far as from what we've seen. There's a demo available for it. The characters and the voice lines are pretty good. There's some that are kind of but most of it is top notch. Really like that game. So tune in for Friday for sure. I think it might even be before that. Madqueen, are we interested in doing an update stream on 76? Were you going to join me for one of those?
I lost. Sorry, I am terribly sorry, but I was looking again at the meme.
Oh, and you were laughing.
Yes, I muted myself because I was laughing.
All right. Do you want to? We had tossed around the idea. Do you want to do a stream for 76 to kind of review the whole new Wastelanders thing?
Well, yeah. I should link my Bethesda account to the Steam because I didn't do it. Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
For some odd reason, it was automatic on mine. I can't remember why or how, but yeah, it was basically automatic for me.
I never said Bethesda what's my user password in Steam. So the only platform that has everything is GOG. Steam and Bethesda not connected. In my case, at least.
Yeah. I have no idea how they managed to figure this out. maybe it was because I've redeemed Fallout Tactics, and maybe
it's in library for me as well on Steam.
Yeah, it just showed up. I went to make sure that it had transferred over, and it was like, hey, here it is. And I'm like, whoa, wow, okay. But that game, it's again, if you listening hate Bethesda now, and you hate this game, and you don't want to see it, and you don't want to talk about it, and you aren't giving them a second chance, 100% understand. Completely. You are justified in that. However, I don't think anybody is beyond redemption, and that also works for games. If I could look at, a couple of games that, No Man's Sky, and say, yeah, it's decent now. I would, if somebody's interested in a No Man's Sky-like experience where, traveling worlds and planets and flight sim and all that kind of stuff, I would point at them and say, hey, that's a decent game. It had a really terrible, horrendous, probably one of the worst launches of all time.
Yeah,
and now 76 has taken that. Yeah.
Both No Man's Sky and Fallout 76.
Yep, me too.
Can you believe the amount of jokes I have from my friends? Because I jumped both. Not one of them both.
Well, I mean, we pre-ordered it because of work-related stuff, but still, yeah, I like the state at which the game is now. I would say is where they should have been when they launched it. This is what they should have launched as, and I think that they could have had essentially a closed beta for the last 2 years. That's probably what they should have done, and they should be incorporating a lot more of the community into community building and modding and stuff like that. But it's yeah, and for sure, Paulie's, people who don't trust Bethesda, I would say don't trust Bethesda. Don't pre-order any Bethesda product ever again. You could pre-order it 2 hours before it goes live if the reviews are good. That's what I would suggest for the next two games, Elder Scrolls and Starfield. When Starfield comes out, we're going to be seeing a lot of information about it once it does come up to launch. It's going to be one of those Fallout 4 type things where they're going to say nothing about this game up until it's ready for launch, and they have play tested the crap out of it, and then you're going to have about 2-3 months where it's just going to suddenly pop out and it's just going to be there. So this is something that I think we're probably a new rule when it comes to Bethesda is don't pre-order their stuff.
Yeah.
But 76 has gotten better considerably, and they're starting to actually they're having a Reddit AMA, and they're doing some other stuff. Again, Pete has kind of messed this stuff up a number of times. People hate Todd for all the reasons that you hate Todd, but I look at the team that's working on it now. They're learning from their lessons, and I want to encourage that. I don't want to say, well, I hate you forever now, because I don't think anybody should be hated forever. I think there's a chance for everybody to find something, and I think this game is not perfect, not by a far shot. It's not even great, but it's good now. Good being just above it's okay, and good being far lower than it's a great game. It's it's not too bad right now.
Yeah, they'll get one more shot from me, honestly, for this game. Because I downloaded the Wastelander, so I'm just gonna go into it. Let's see. One more chance.
If only just because the fucking game was expensive.
Yeah, that's true. But anyways, we might be streaming that as a group at some point this week, so pay attention to that. It would be nice to try and get in. There's rumors going around that they're going to be trying to increase the cap on the private servers and giving more rules and control to the people who run the private servers, kind of creating more of a Minecraft thing. This is all I've wanted from this game. This is all I've wanted for a long time, and this is something that I want to share with the community. I want a server that can hold 50 people, 50 to 100 people, and I want to be able to set rules on it, put it up live 24/7, and just have that the way it is. There's got to be some way to do that, because this is something that is really actively very interested. I would love to do that. We were talking about concepts. It's I'd love to get all our community friends who do unfortunately still have the game in, and then do things like all right, you guys are going to run. You're going to strip naked, and you're going to run from this. We're all going to start at this point right here, and you're all going to run over to this place here. First person to get there gets a prize. That's something that's like very interesting to me. Is like that and doing like some of the group content together and hunting stuff together. It's like that's the fun stuff. I don't know if that's the case here. So, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah, Rage 2 was garbage too. And yeah. Anyways, anything else, Neon?
No, nothing from me. I have a Valorant review going up sometime this week, but
ooh, Chinese spyware.
Yeah, the root
yeah,
my favorite thing.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
But
great.
No, nothing really in the pipeline. I'll just play it by ear.
Yeah, we next week, if there's no dead info, remind us to talk about Riot and all the stuff that they're doing, because they just put out a bunch of stuff today, which was like, ooh, wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they're really moving. They're really moving. All that Chinese money is really good, I guess. Yeah, I'm not forgiving them for that. I'm not. I won't. Last known, anything?
I'll focus on the Fallout 76. I'll just probably do one overview video of the Wastelanders with my opinion after I play it. And then maybe some Cyberpunk stuff, depends. I am still working on that Cyberpunk Red lore that I need to put out. So yeah, that should be coming relatively soon. And then business as usual, as news come, I put them out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then Madqueen.
Well, I ordered a new cyberware because apparently I need a couple more hands, and I don't know exactly where to attach them. Just a little below, because I also want them to reach my boobs for other uses that have nothing to do with work. But yes, I just want to do so many things, and I only have 2 hands. But I need to release the second part of the all lore explained video. That will be the next thing. And I'm also releasing my edits of the music. That I edit the music of the deep dive to remove the voices and to make it a little longer, to use it as background music on videos. And people started to ask me to release these edits, and I'm doing so on my channel.
Yeah, that's actually really good. Like the how you get the voices out, really good. Wow.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah,
but not always works. I tried with this video that they released on the Game Awards because I just love the song. But no, I just the one that I used in the video where I talked about it was kind of covered by me talking, but as a piece of music, it doesn't work. It sounds like shit.
Oh yeah.
She's agreeing. She's agreeing.
Who's hosting next week?
Me.
It will be on the Madqueen's channel next week, so make sure you are subscribed. We've been having growth finally again. So YouTube's subsystems being what they are, it's kind of shocking sometimes. But you can help us by liking and subscribing and hitting that little bell icon on all of our channels. And for sure, whenever you guys join, that is also very much super appreciated. You have no idea how much that helps us when you guys do that, and we really want to thank everybody who does. You guys are literally the backbone to this, especially in these times where, I mean, things are really, really rough on YouTube for like a lot of people right now. So thank you so much. So yeah, from all of us here, have a great day. We'll see you soon.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.